Don Staley had a statue erected for her in Columbia, South Carolina. She's won 3 national championships, and she's sitting out there. They've erected a statue, and I know everybody thinks that, what are you complaining about? This is completely appropriate. And I disagree. Columbia is having Don Staley month. Don Staley May is the month of Don Staley. They've erected a statue, and they're having Don Staley month. And Don Staley's out there celebrating all this stuff. Don Staley claims a Christian faith. She's watching herself be made an idol, and she's celebrating it. What has she done to deserve a month? Basketball? Don Staley month? And you're making yourself an idol, and you're helping people put you on. And she just doesn't deserve that. And particularly if you're going to claim the faith, cut it out. You're not an idol. No one's an idol. You shouldn't have idols. And this whole thing, we're just too quick. She's accomplished more than Shedeur Sanders, but this is the same thing. They build statues for you after your career is over. I believe that's been the standard, that's been the practice, but now we have to do it instantly for, does Gino Auriemma have a statue at Connecticut? I'm not sure. Does Kim Mulkey have a statue at Baylor? I'm not sure. But those, maybe Pat Summitt has one at Tennessee. She's passed. Her career is over. Am I making too much? Should South Carolina be erecting statues for Don Staley before she retires, Steve?
It seems premature. I'm just wondering, does Sterling Sharp at least have a plaque somewhere on their athletic complex? I know, Harold Green, Todd Ellis. It does seem a month. Really? A month? That seems a little bit overboard.
Don Staley month. I'm going to say something really inappropriate. I'm going to say something that's going to embarrass TJ. And some of my audience is going to be pissed off at me. But during Don Staley month in Columbia, strap-ons are half off. I don't know if you know that. But if you're looking for a deal. I didn't get a laugh out of Luke. Luke really generally loves my inappropriate jokes, but he was even like, as a Christian, can I laugh at that joke? You probably shouldn't, Luke, and I shouldn't have cracked it, and people will be very uncomfortable with me.
Doesn't mean it's not true.
It doesn't mean it's not true. Hey, Steve, I cut you off. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, that's to be the case. I was told of a really good museum in the Northeast where they could probably get the originals of all that stuff. A month. She gets a month? Wow, okay. Congratulations to her, I guess. Jeez, a month.
DonStaley.com, promo code STRAPON, 50% off. TJ, that's quite a segue indeed.
Thank you for that introduction. To my knowledge, I haven't found officially, but it does not appear Gino Auriemma has a statue. In fact, there was a small dust-up between Gino and Don Staley when Gino said, hey, other places, you win a national championship, they build you a statue. Here, they won't even put you at the front of the bus. And so that's his expectation. Don Staley, at the time, was defending Asia
Wilson,
or as Hadley calls her, Aja Wilson's statue, which went up in 2021. And she even said, hey, I thought Asia should be the only one who had a statue. I shouldn't have had one. And that was at the time. Now, obviously, she has changed her tune, as today she now has an entire month dedicated to her for no reason.
And so on South Carolina's campus, there's a statue of Asia Wilson, a player, female basketball player, and the coach, Don Staley. And I know that a lot of people go to South Carolina games. From what I understand, their home games are like pride parades and drag queen story hour. That it's a great. I'm somewhat joking, but I'm being dead serious. That the LGBTQ loves to go to the South Carolina women's basketball games. I get it that she's built a popular basketball program there, but a major university has 2 statues to basketball players that I'll bet you I can guarantee, because I think I've read this, like that basketball program loses money, millions of dollars. And despite how many ever people are turning out for games, it loses millions of dollars, and some university to basketball players have
Women's
statues.
basketball.
I'm sure South Carolina, women's basketball, but I'm sure South Carolina produces heavyweights in a lot of industries outside of sports, and it is an educational university, and there's statues for 2 women's basketball personalities. It just seems a bit much.
According to the state, whatever that is, they lose $5.6 million per year.
And they get and you wonder why women WNBA players all feel entitled, feel underpaid. They're so used to being subsidized that, hey, we can lose $5 million a year and they'll still build statues for us. They'll still fly us around like we're a money-making team. It's
probably subsidized by taxpayers. It's different when you're subsidized by the NBA. In college, a lot of these are not self-sufficient. And so you're either subsidized by the football team or you're subsidized by the taxpayers. That's your only options.
Steve, I'll give you a final thought. If not, I'm going to put Luke here on the spot. If
Lenore Sellers wins the Heisman this season, and he's a dark horse candidate, I really like Lenore Sellers. I expect South Carolina to give him a certificate of participation, thanking him for his efforts, and they'll probably be hung up on the football walls in their complex. That's what I expect from South Carolina next year.
Steve, thank you. Great job as always. This show's about 30 minutes longer than I anticipated. I'm sorry, but I hope you enjoyed it. Luke, I do want to ask you, because Luke is my peanut gallery. When I crack jokes up here, when I do anything up there, I look to Luke as my barometer. Have I gone too far? Have I done too much? Was I funny? Luke normally loves all of my jokes. I did a show from my home the other day, and he was like, man, that's the funniest show you ever did. That was great.
You could hear him laughing in the back.
Yeah, your favorite. I crack one of my greatest jokes ever on this show, and I get nothing from Luke. Luke, did I go too far today?
Nah, I'm just distracted. I'm looking at other stuff. I'm distracted.
Oh, so you were distracted and didn't really hear my joke. Justin, I saw Justin back in the control room with a big smile on his face. Justin, come on out here. We normally don't have Justin in town. Justin, can you come out here I want to know, we'll get a better judge on if my joke landed back in the control room better than it did here with Luke. I knew TJ wasn't going to laugh. He's way too far along on his journey.
Stick in the mud.
Plus his wife watches the show. Justin, did I go too far today?
Nah, it's fearless.
Did it land back there in the control room? I know Ren laughs, because Ren laughs at everything.
We laughed at that.
Awesome. All right. Justin, come on camera. I think Luke's already been on camera. Justin is our top producer. He's normally back. You got to come a little closer. He's normally back in Dallas, but he's in town for roll call. Justin, did you just get out of the joint or what? Because you're getting all prison swole. I mean, the last time I saw Justin, he was probably 135 pounds. And
It's in Dallas, you got to stay strong over there.
Yeah, Justin's been hitting the weights while locked up.
He saw Carmelo Anthony, and he's like, I got to start hitting the gym.
I got to have it myself.
Anyway, like what you saw? Hit that like button, subscribe, and check out the full episode by clicking the link below.